I want to talk to you about My Company Works versus Harbor Compliance versus Incorporate Fast. Of course, we are speaking about LLC formation, and by extension, we are talking about company formation in general, okay? So here are our observations. I want to first start with our observations around My Company Works. So when you think about My Company Works, I want to think about a tool, a platform, if you will, that allows you to actually form your company a lot faster. But what we love about My Company Works is that they have a 90-day money-back guarantee for their LLC formation services. So 90-day, that's pretty good because if you're not satisfied within 3 months, they'll reimburse you, no questions asked. Fantastic. And if you actually also love toll-free telephone support during business hours, you will love My Company Works. And if you actually seek more resources for new LLC startups, including an interactive checklist, you also will love My Company Works. Now, we do not recommend actually My Company Works for those not wanting to pay for higher tier plans to access certain services. We do not recommend it to nonprofits or those who prefer an app interface, because right now My Company Works doesn't have an app interface. So it's a really a bummer, but hey, listen, this is how they roll right now. And My Company Works actually, their support services include help with setting up a business bank account, an interactive business formation checklist, an LLC handbook. So while many new LLCs will have their formation needs met by the features bundled in My Company Works Entrepreneur and Complete packages, other services such as annual report filing and compliance monitoring are only available for an additional fee. So be prepared to actually pay a little extra if you want more from My Company Works. And My Company Works has been in business for more than 20 years actually. I mean, when they actually came out, they were actually called mynewcompany.com. And so now they have rebranded into My Company Works. And so they feature capabilities such as the Startup Wizard interactive checklist for new firms. And they also have a 23 to 25 page new LLC handbook. So that's really cool. It gives you more flexibility. So while some of the LLC formation services actually are priced pretty affordably, if you will, My Company Works is a little more expensive because you have the basic, the entrepreneur, and the complete. Now the basic will cost you about $59 plus state fees. The entrepreneur will cost you $179 plus state fees. And the complete will actually cost you $259 plus state fees. So something to be aware of. Now, it's important to really understand that when we talk about basic plan versus entrepreneur plan versus complete plan, everything depends on what you really want, right? Because their pricing revolves around your needs. So basically, for instance, the basic plan, you have personalized organizational minutes, including instructions for holding the organization meeting. You have personalized operating agreement stating the rules that will apply to the LLC. And you have a Startup Wizard interactive checklist that takes you through each step of the LLC formation process. So this is kind of cool. And so if you want to go a little further, you can really go for the entrepreneur plan. So in addition to EIN and registered agent services, this plan adds My Company Forms, a library of business forms. You have checklists, tax guides, and simple minutes and resolutions. And My Company Forms cost about $49 as a standalone product. And then you have a complete plan. So the company's top of the line package includes My Company Works Premium, which basically manages many aspects of your business compliance and security requirements. So that's really good. Now, when I'm talking about security requirements, I'm talking about annual report filing service. You have compliance lock. You have business entity monitoring to confirm that your LLC status remains active and in good standing. And then you have also automatic generation and secure storage of meeting minutes and resolutions. So that's really something to think about. And My Company Works Premium costs $99 when not sold bundled with the complete package. It includes 5 gigabytes of storage. You also have an e-ledger for tracking ownership changes, and you have e-certificates verifying proof of ownership. So this is something to really think about. Now, My Company Works is available in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, so DC, not a problem. The company also offers services to non-U.S. citizens and U.S. citizens living overseas who want to form a company in this country. So this is really good. And My Company Works actually provides also apostille certification to confirm that documents are deemed to be authentic in countries overseas. So that's really cool. So overall, you have a player that's really has diversified its services a lot and is now offering all kinds of services to all kinds of constituencies. That's really, really fantastic. I want to talk to you now about harbor compliance. So when we think about harbor compliance, what kind of LLC formation service should you be thinking about? First of all, we love the fact that harbor compliance is pretty flexible. So you have a very reliable specialist company for LLC formations. You have all kinds of incorporation, not just LLCs, and you have incorporation. You have other business compliance related to all kinds of solutions, really. So that's really good. And harbor compliance actually provides quick turnaround times relatively to other players. And so this makes them a good option if you need to get your business running ASAP. And if you choose to work with them, though, you'll be paired with a compliance specialist who can handle all aspects of your LLC formation and also answer any questions about your specific case. So that's really good because then you have the ability to talk to someone. And so Harbor Compliance actually has been in existence for 15 years. I mean, less than 15 years, by the way. They were founded in 2012. And so they are headquartered in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And they work with all kinds of organizations. So that's really good. And so their services, their LLC formation package is reasonably comprehensive and includes essential services such as checking the availability of your desired company name and filing articles of organization with your state's Secretary of State, providing you with an operating agreement template, obtaining a federal employer identification number, and acting as your registered agent, which you are legally required to have anyway. So this is really good. In terms of pricing, now Harbor Compliance is a little more expensive because basically they have a formation package. And so the formation package is pretty expensive. So we're talking about $399. So they're charging you $399. So this is actually a single formation package that contains all the services that we consider essential for an LLC formation. So this package includes the following. You have a name availability check and filing of articles of organization, an operating agreement template. You have federal tax ID registration, and you have a registered agent service for a 1-year term. So that's really interesting. And what I want to say is that when you think about the Harbor Compliance, I want you to think about a tool that allows you to actually slice and dice the kind of services you need. And for instance, if you want formation only, basically this covers the essential business entity formation, and this includes at a minimum filing formation articles with your chosen state's Secretary of State office. And so we actually recommend this level of service to experienced business owners who do not need an operating agreement and can serve as their LLC's registered agent. And so when we talk about the formation here, you don't have to pay $399. You'll be paying less. And for full formation, so this additionally includes a custom operating agreement and 1 year of registered agent service, which most new owners will find essential. So this is kind of cool. Now, Harbor Compliance is really pushing their formation bundle, and the question is it a good value? Because if they're charging you $399, that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of money, especially if you're a startup founder. Basically, the thing is that it depends on what you're looking for, because Harbor Compliance includes fewer services in its formation package, and it doesn't offer you the option to personalize your package online. So, if you need additional services, or let's say if your particular state has a specific requirements, for example, the publishing of a notice in a newspaper, Harbor Compliance may offer add-ons on request. In other words, they'll charge you a little extra. So this is really something to think about. So Harbor's Compliance, a $399 formation package, includes a 1-year term of their registered agent service. So after this free period runs out, you'll be billed for the service annually at the cost of $99 per year. And this service will renew automatically unless you cancel it. And so it's one of those things you gotta ask yourself what you're looking for. But Harbor's compliance terms of service state that in order to cancel your registered agent service, you will first need to appoint a different registered agent. And Harbor Compliance can continue to charge you the annual fee as long as a state government's records show that they are still your registered agent. So be very careful there, okay? And so after you go through the process of changing your registered agent, or if your business is dissolved, you can contact them to cancel your service. So it's not really that easy. I don't know why they make it very complicated. And so when you actually, for us, when you think about $399, but also the complication they put in place to for cancellation, this makes it not very interesting for small businesses, especially if you have never done this before. So what are the pros and cons here? Pros, you have personalized customer service. That's really great. You have the ability to contact them at 1-888-995-5895. You have a single day processing time. And you also have a relatively good track record here, so that's really cool. And what about the cons here? Well, you have a very expensive service. They do have an outdated and confusing website, and they have fewer services included with the package. So this is something to really think about. In terms of Harbor compliance services, you have LLC formation filing. That's number one. You have registered agent service. That's number two. You have operating agreement templates. That's number three. You have a federal tax ID service, and you have additional services, for instance, and those are available on request. For instance, filing of an initial report, S Corp or C Corp tax election, publishing, annual reporting services, and business licensing. So that's something to really think about, especially if you are trying to move to the next level. So overall, you got to ask yourself, what do you really need when it comes to an LLC service? Next, I want to talk to you about Incorporate Fast, which is the third player in today's comparative analysis. So when you think about Incorporate Fast, as the name implies, this is a platform that claims to help you incorporate real fast. Okay, so what they will do is that they will basically help you find the perfect name for your new LLC, conduct a name search to make sure your desired LLC name is available, and they will help you secure a domain name for your company. So that's really cool. So when you think about Incorporate Fast, what are the pros and cons here? The pros first, you have a full year of registered agent service that's really included in all of their LLC formation packages. Their customer support reps are based in the US. So what happens here is that you will talk to a real person every time you call. So no more actually waiting through a series of robot menus only to be instructed to leave a message. And they have been actually in business since 2002. So a little longer than Harbor Compliance. So this is kind of important. And if you want to know the time and date they could process your LLC formation, they will actually will let you know. And speaking of turnaround times, theirs are fast because their filing times for every state are either the fastest in the industry or right up there. So what about the cons when it comes to Incorporate Fast? So basically, we haven't found a lot of online customer reviews. So this is not a red flag or anything like that, especially for a relatively new company. But it's always nice to be able to point to some positive customer feedback. Okay. And but long story short, I want you to look right now on the screen. Here is the pricing for Incorporate Fast. So you have the basic, you have the deluxe, and then you have the premium. So they want you to really have the deluxe, and the premium actually has everything. The deluxe doesn't have the corporate book and the corporate seal, but you have the basic actually doesn't have the resolution to open a bank account, membership stock certificates, EIN, and so on and so forth. So it really depends on what you're looking for at the end of the day, and that will really be there in terms of your availability also. So when you think about Incorporate Fast, you really need to understand that there are some of the cheapest on the market, but for you to make a decision, you got to really ask yourself, what are my needs really? What do I need from this company, right? And one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about Incorporate Fast, you got to always ask yourself that what's important of filing your paperwork real fast, because the thing is that incorporate fast allows you to really incorporate faster. That's true, but does it really matter? That's the question. Does it really matter? And the second question is that how fast do you need all the other documents? For instance, the annual reporting, the resolution of a bank account, the affidavit of support, all those elements. Okay. Also, do you need a registered agent? Because actually, Incorporate Fast does actually offer the registered agent service, but they might charge you a little extra, because if you go through their pricing, they don't have that in their pricing, which means you might have to actually pay a little extra if you want Incorporate Fast to act as your registered agent. So this is you have smaller things like this that they were basically charging you a lot extra for things that other players are actually including in their basic package. But remember that we're speaking about pricing that starts at $99. So this is really perfect for anyone looking to work with the fastest formation service, and your information is really secure because Incorporate Fast, it has been in business for a while now. So they actually they do not appear to have any additional third-party virus scanning or vendor verification software protecting their sites, but their security certificates look good to us. So there's no reason to worry about the safety of your data. So that's something, an important element, because when we talk about LLC formation, you got to really pay attention to the data security and the data safety. That's important, because otherwise, if your data is in the wrong hands, you never know. So what is our overview here? MyCompanyWorks versus Harbor Compliance versus Incorporate Fast. How do you choose the best LLC service for you? It's important to really pay attention to a few criteria, a few benchmarking criteria. Pricing is one, value is another, customer support is a third one, and legal services is the fourth one. So when we talk about pricing, you got to really ask yourself, how important is your time for you? How valuable is your time? So you can get help with preparing your business formation documents for free, but you have to file it yourself, which can be time consuming and confusing. So when you pay for an LLC service to help with filing, it handles the complicated parts. Keep in mind though that all pricing does not include state filing fees. Those are always going to be something you have to pay for. And what about value? How is the value important for you? And when we talk about value, beyond the actual cost of a bundle or filing assistance, you should really consider what else is included. So having a registered agent service is necessary for any business. So you want to look for an LLC formation company that includes this in a low price plan. So getting your tax ID, EIN is easy and free. So you want to avoid those that charge too much to do the legwork for you. And in terms of customer support, now the variety of customer support options is more subjective. Some people prefer talking to someone over the phone, while others prefer to reach out via live chat. So you want to choose a service that offers the kind of support you need. And in terms of legal services, also, should you go with MyCompanyWorks versus Harbor Compliance versus Incorporate Fast? Well, many of the best LLC services also offer basically a legal document library at no added cost. So you can easily download contract templates and other legal documents you may need. Some even give you access to lawyers for you to actually talk to if you have, let's say you have questions about the legal operations of your business. So this is really, when you think about it, this is really a nice to have addition, but not a need to have if you're simply looking to form a new business entity. So what is the best here? MyCompanyWorks versus Harbor Compliance versus Incorporate Fast. Which one should you go for? Our answer is very simple. The best here, it will depend upon your needs, but we love the fact that MyCompanyWorks provides all kinds of solutions in a very holistic manner. So we will go with MyCompanyWorks. Harbor Compliance is not really as straightforward. I mean, their $3.99 formation package is really crazy high. MyCompanyWorks is priced affordably, and Incorporate Fast is really good also, but we would go with MyCompanyWorks better. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. So here are our closing remarks. So when we talk about My Company Works versus Harbor Compliance versus Incorporate Fast, I give you the observations. I spoke to you about our overview, the best, and now the closing remarks. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.